also known as a millfish yacker. Notice behind me, no longer the ocean kayak prowler. I still have it. I just ended up found myself in a position I was able to get the one that I really wanted, which is the Hobie Pro Angler 14. I've got it all set up here behind me. Pretty much how I've been fishing it. Got my fish finder on it, rods and everything, and I just want to do a video on it. I haven't uploaded a video in a long time since I was fishing on the lake back in November, I think, on the prowler. But this thing, I've been doing a lot of work to it, a lot of customizing on different things. I'm a tinker / modifier by nature, so I can't leave well enough alone. I've always got to be messing with something and modifying things to fit my needs. And I've pretty much got this thing how I want it. I really can't think of anything else I need to do to it at this point. I've got it set up to where I can fish the ocean with it. I can fish all the lakes here in Missouri, rivers, streams, you name it, farm ponds, bass ponds, whatever. The way I've done this thing, it's a completely modular system, meaning that things can be added on, taken off, completely adjusted to whatever my fishing situation is. So let's get into it. Okay, start back here at the back. You'll notice that the trailer is my same trailer that I did a video earlier on. This is the one I built. I had the ocean kayak prowler on it before. What is that stupid red light for? I don't know what that one's for. I hope my camera doesn't take a crap on me. But anyway, you've seen the ocean kayak on this before, but I actually built this trailer for the prowler. Or I'm sorry, for the Hobie Pro Angler 14. I got this Hobie back in December, and this is the PA14 2012 edition. Here in a minute, you're going to see something on it that's going to throw you. Heck, I'll go ahead and show you now. Like I said, 2012. And whoops, what's that? Well, that's a Hobie rectangular hatch off of the 2013 PA12s and PA14s. And I found a way to put it into a 2000. Well, you can put it to a 2012 or older. Any of the older ones. This took a lot of thought, quite a bit of time. I probably got actual labor into it, probably, I'm going to say 15 to 18 hours, somewhere in there. Just pretty time consuming to do, but it turned out top notch. It turned out really well. I'll go ahead and get into that a little bit here. I was hoping to do this video all in one shot, but there's so much to cover on this thing, the things I've done and the things I wanted to share with all you guys. This will probably end up being a couple parts. So we'll go ahead and start with the hatch here. Everybody who has a Hobie or knows about the Hobie Pro Anglers, they know that the old hatch style, you had your bungees back here and the lid flipped up, and you accessed your gear bucket in the well, and that well was about 4 inches up off the deck. And of course it completely eliminated the user from being able to have the flat deck. And obviously Hobie listened to people, and they found a way, and they came up with this design for the 2013s with the flush mount hatch, and so you can have a nice flat platform to fish off of and move around on. They put in the vantage seating and everything, and they moved some scupper holes around to accommodate this. Of course, with the 2012, I was not able to move scupper holes around. I did, however, do a little modification on them. I've got some gear in here right now. Right here is one of the old the scupper tubes, It has been dissected about halfway through. I've put filler material in here. I did a lot of plastic welding on this job. I welded in a whole new piece back here. The original threaded wells here that held those bungees that held the old hatch on, they've been covered with a new piece of plastic. All this right here, this has all been rewelded. This is a whole new piece that I put in here. It's all been plastic welded in. And up here in the front, you might be able to see the weld there. It's still fresh. Once I get this thing out and use it a couple times, you probably won't be able to see it again. But if you look close right here, this is where one of the forward bungee straps, the plastic pieces that go down that well, that hold the lid in place from the front side. This was one of those wells, and over here was the other. And I don't know if you can see that weld line right there. This right here is a new piece that I actually welded in. All this material I was able to use from the old hatch. I had pieces left over whenever I made my initial cuts. I had the top hatch itself. So I had original dune material that I was from my boat that I was able to use as my my add-on material to make this work. And then my filler rod that I used when I was welding was just slivers of that material that I cut off my utility knife, and was able to make all this happen. But I got to hand it to Hobie on this hatch. This thing is built like a freight train. I mean, they really thought this out. It is strong. And it's got a two-piece flange on it. This bottom piece married up to this top piece. It's just amazingly strong. I did have to cut the bottom flange into two separate pieces. I got this back piece here, and then I've got this front piece here. And the reason I had to do that was obvious because of these scuppers. I did not, in my opinion, I did not destroy any of the structural integrity of this boat at all. If anything, I made it stronger. As you can see, this flange sits directly on top of these scuppers on both sides, and so you have that direct downward pressure, that good vertical strong point whenever you stand. Like I said, this thing is I'm moving the whole entire boat. I'm actually flexing the bunks that the yak's sitting on. But I've got total confidence in the work I've done on this. And as far as I know, I'm the first one to ever do it. It's been talked about a lot on Hobie forums, on their website. A lot of guys have wondered if it could be done. Because a lot of guys, well, like me, for instance, I really liked the 2013s, but what I didn't like was the Vantage seating. It's cool and everything, and it's a really neat item, and somebody put a lot of time into creating it, but it's just not for me. But I loved the flat deck and the flush mount hatch, and so I found a way to make that happen. Here I got a Scottie camera mount. You can see it's made for Gopro, and you thread any other type of camera on there. Completely adjustable. Got it mounted here in a Scottie mount. Here are Scottie rod holders, obviously made for Hobie, and they are on, I think they call these gear heads, which I've got fastened into the gear track, the original gear track. These are 16-inch gear tracks with Yak Attack's rail mount system for the Hobies. Get you a good look at that there. I do a lot of trolling, and as you can see from the locations of these rods, I don't have one over here because it hit my garage wall. But it's perfect. No reaching. Everything's right there. And we'll go over here. This is just another screwball here. I can put another rod holder on there, whatever I want to throw on there. Fishing gear here. Like I said, I pretty much pulled things out and got it set up as if I was just getting ready to launch, and I'm getting ready to go fishing at the lake or whatever. And we'll go over here. This is just another screwball here. I can put another rod holder on there, whatever I want to throw on there. Fishing gear here. Like I said, I pretty much pulled things out and got it set up as if I was just getting ready to launch and I'm getting ready to go fishing at the lake or whatever. But I've got some spinner baits down there. I got some frogs down there in the case, plastics, jerk baits, crankbaits. Got a lot of hooks and lead back here in these two containers. Here's my GoPro right there. And you guys will probably recognize this little setup. Fellow on YouTube, man, I can't think of his name because I'd like to give him props for it, who came up with this. But this is that Targus Carp per diem, is that right? I think that's his name. I think that's what he has on his yak, Carp per diem, something like that. It looks like he's out of the Gulf area. But anyway, this is a Targus monopod from Walmart. Two replacement parts for Scottie rod holders married together, going down into the Scottie base. I've got this mount here going up into the aluminum pipe, screwed in with stainless steel screws. This part here I fastened in with a stainless steel threaded rod, made a nice clean fitting. I mean, you can see it's just it almost looks factory. It just went in there real nice. And this was the panfish portrait top section. I cut the bottom part of it off to utilize it for this big arm, this boom arm. And of course I can roll, I can pull it up out of here, I can rotate it, I can put it straight above me, I can put this thing about 6 feet out from me. I can move it up here if I want and put it in this Scottie mount, and point it way out in front of me, above me, to the left, to the right, doesn't matter. You can just do so much with it. Or you can just hold it out and pan it around. Here is my custom live well I made. If you guys seen the live well I made for the ocean kayak, it's similar to it, except I was able to obviously build a bigger one because I have the Pro Angler. This is a Igloo Marine. I'm wanting to say it was a 21 quart cooler. It fit in here real nice. Almost fit perfect. I had to put just a little bit of a piece of PVC material on the other side just to keep it shifted from side to side. But you can see here I've got it bungeed in up here to the front. Come back here to the back. I drilled through these, removed the handles. Palmetto Kayak Fishing. He's online. He's the guy that put a blog on how to make this. So I appreciate that. This is the Radio Shack project box. I used one size bigger than what he used. All my batteries I use for all my stuff, they're Cabela's 12 volt batteries. I think they actually sell them as deer feeder batteries. They're 7 amp hour 12 volt batteries, and I've yet to run one dead. So this top toggle switch here, this is a well, here, let me do this. First this bottom one, that's my pump over there. Same setup as the ocean kayak. This bottom tube goes through this rear scupper down into the water, draws water up, shoots water down, and then it flows through. Same outlet. This is the first level, which is about 5.5 inches of water. The water will fill up, run down out this other scupper hole. If I want to go to a higher water level, I simply pull that cap off, put it on there, and now I can fill up to here if I'm getting a lot of crappie or whites or whatever I'm keeping. And that is a 1/4 stainless steel screw right there, and that's how I drain it. So I don't have to take it out of the yak or anything. I can just drain it. That's the last thing I do before I leave. I pull that screw out, let the screw just roll around in there and take off, and it'll drain going down the road. And you see my connectors I have here, one for the light, one for the pump. The cool thing about this is you can disconnect these connectors. You can get them in O'Reilly's or AutoZone. They're just 12 volt connectors, automotive connectors, and they're made out of, the ends are made out of aluminum, so they don't rust or anything. But if your battery's dead, in order to charge it, I usually pull the pump off. This is the pump one right here. I pull it off. I put my alligator clips on each one of the leads coming out of the fitting, and then flip the switch on, and it's charging. You got to flip the switch on to open the circuit so it can get to the battery and it'll charge. Let me flip off the light here, kind of show you what else I do. If I can get through here without tripping on everything. There's my fish finder over there, see if it'll focus on it. Yeah, that's an Elite 5 DSI by Lowrance. I love that thing. I love it. Got it on simulation mode right now, but it works just like that. I mean, it'll show you every twig, every stick on every tree, every rock, boulder, you name it. It was getting some kind of rough reviews just because a lot of guys were so used to using the old style sonar that they didn't know what fish looked like on these DSIs. Fish do show up on them, you just gotta know what you're looking for. They don't show up as traditional arches that you see on old sonar. They show up as different shaped blobs, basically, but those are fish, and it picks them up pretty good as best as I can tell. I've used it quite a bit, and I'm real happy with it. Okay, now the main reason I turned the lights off. My bait tank has a submersible light built into it. You know, if I'm doing any night fishing, if I'm running bait in here or whatever, I can just flip that light on and see exactly what I'm doing. So that's what that light's for. And like I said, it's completely submersible. It works great. And I've got a switch right here behind these two tackle boxes I showed you. And there you go. I've got LED deck lighting here, and they're just awesome. They put out just the perfect amount of light, since they're mounted up underneath the starboard mounts. Got those at Walmart. They're a flexible light. They're completely sealed in some sort of a rubber, and they've got 3M adhesive backing on the back of them. But you can see how good of a light they put out. They work really well. There we go, put some light back on. But yeah, here's the switch for them right there. Those are toggle switches. They're plastic, and what I do is I snip off the long part with a pair of snips, and I take my Dremel and just kind of round it over, and it works real well. Keeps things from getting snagged on them, and it's that way there's not a sharp point sticking out there somewhere. So anyway, that's the bait tank. Back here, more homemade rod holders, just like I had on the Ocean Kayak. This here is a little cargo bungee net. I got this at O'Reilly's too. It's actually sold as a motorcycle seat bungee net for holding something down on a motorcycle. In this bag here, I keep all the necessary goodies for surviving on the water should something happen. You guys know all about that stuff. Here I got my little half paddle. It's snapped in this little snap right there. I always keep that with me. Here's the Ram Transducer Mount. The little transducer arm they sell. This thing is sweet. All you got to do is loosen that, swing it down. Obviously it won't swing down all the way because it's on my fender there. Swing it down into the water, tighten it up, and you're fishing. You're in business. And it goes, like I said, it should swing down a little farther. But the work here, it has become a push pole / paddle. This This is Yak Attack's parking pole. This is their 8-foot version. What I did, let's see, get it to stay up here so we can talk about it. What I did is I cut the little plastic handle with little finger grooves, and I cut it off the top of the parking pole, and then I cut the blade out of the carbon fiber Hobie tube. And it just so happened, I did a little measuring with calipers to make sure it was going to work first, but this fiberglass parking pole fits perfectly up into the blade. I mean, it fit nice. So some Gorilla Glue, and 30 minutes later it was good to go. It was set. I slid the foam back up, the factory foam that came on the parking pole, and now I've got a really strong, stout stakeout pole slash stand-up paddle slash lure retriever. I took my little plastic welder and heated a little groove up in there. That way if I get like a hook or something stuck in a log, you just put the groove down over the hook eye or the lure eye and just push down and it'll come loose. And this one here is mainly for snagging out of trees. I kind of copied the one off of Bending Branch's angle race paddle that I have for the ocean kayak. So that's what I did with this. And I'm just going to set it over here, out of the way. Here's what's left of my original Hobie hatch. Right there. I got a little bucket full of parts here. So if I ever hit anything or put a hole in my kayak, I'll just weld it back together. Got no problems with that. One thing I do want to mention about this hatch job is I haven't had anybody from Hobie tell me this yet. Like I said, I put this on Hobie forums under the Pro Angler section, and I put a paragraph in there. You know I voided my whole warranty by doing this, and I'm cool with that. And I've got no problems with that, because most of the time when people turn in their holes to Hobie for warranties, it's because there's been a crack somewhere down here in the Mirage Drive well, or I've seen a couple cracks over here. Just, you know, they pop up in various places for different reasons. But after, you know, doing this type of welding, I'm comfortable with it, and it's strong. You know, I have no issues welding up a crack in my boat. You know, by myself, I'm not gonna mess with warranty work or anything like that. But you know, like I said, after doing something like this, and anybody else that attempts this should know that. You know, like I said, I haven't heard anything from Hobie on it. They haven't commented on anything, but I don't think they should be held responsible for any whole warranties after that point, because you're significantly altering their design, in order to accomplish this. But like I said, it turned out that well, I know for a fact that my 4 is much stronger than it was in the original 2012 4. And that's in part to Hobie's design on this hatch. It is so strong and so stiff that whenever I actually through bolted everything, all 14 bolts, they're not screws like they recommend, like the flange is made for, self-tapping screws, but I actually through bolted them with fender washers and alot nuts on the backside. And of course I gooped the top flange to make it watertight. Over here you'll notice there's something missing. Over here, I did away with my inboard rod tubes. I don't use them. I used them a little bit at first, and the only thing I used them for was transportation. When I was heading to the lake from here, I would load my rods into there and strap them down, and off I go. But the problem I was finding, there was such a severe angle from here to in here that the rods are really having to make a hard bend to get up into that tube properly. and I almost ripped an eye or two off of a couple rods just trying to get them out. And like I said, once I'm on the water, I don't use them. The rods never go back into them until I would leave. As you can see, I can haul plenty back there. And then whenever I'm pedaling along, I got one here, got one there, got one there. And to me, the storage, the bow storage was more important to me. Like I said, this is all just my personal preferences. The bow storage is more important to me than having those rod tubes. Those rod tubes, I still got them over here. I mean, they're pretty substantial. They take up a good amount of space. I mean, they're good size. So when you got 3 of those laying down both sides, it eats up a lot of your bow storage. And for me, I'm one of those guys that if I have it, it's going with me type thing. I'm glad this thing got a 600-pound load capacity, because one of these days I'll probably be pushing it. I'm not yet. A guy can't go wrong having one of those on board, especially if you're going to be out for a couple days or whatever, and you don't know if you're going to be able to charge your phone. It'll work out good. My seat, obviously not stock. We have a deck boat, a Hurricane deck boat, and it came with 2 of these seats with pedestals made to mount up. They have mounts up on the front deck if you wanted to fish off the thing. To me, it's not a very fishing friendly vessel, but they came with it anyway, so I wanted something more comfortable, and so I brought one up from the basement, and it fit nice. And I ordered a slide mount for it. Right here's the handle. I can slide the seat forward or backwards. Can't really do it one-handed. It'll slide forward, backwards, however I want it. It's really nice. It raised my center of gravity 2 inches, which is not an issue in the Pro Angler. I haven't noticed a difference at all in the stability. Here's my dedicated battery for the fish finder. It's mounted in a Walmart waterproof box. Got an inline fuse mounted in there, sealed up with goop. Same type of connector, same type of deal. Unplug it, hook your alligator clips right to it, and it's charging. You don't never have to open the box. Like I said, there's another battery in there. The deck lights and the USB port are powered by a battery under the 8-inch hatch here in the back in that little gear bucket. That's about the only use I could find for that gear bucket back there. It didn't serve a whole lot of purposes, in my opinion, but it worked really well for one of those little Cabela's 12-volt batteries, and so everything's those 2 items are wired up to that. So this is my rig, and like I said, it's pretty decked out. My anchor trolley. This is standard Hobie anchor trolley. They call it their universal, I think. It comes with a little bit different hardware, but I set it up with the double ring design. I got stainless steel ring here and here. That way, whenever I send it back, I can send it all the way back if I want, because I got a ring here, and having that ring on the front, that ring will make contact with the front pulley if I want it to. Just nice to have that option. It's there. And I think that's about it. So if you guys got any questions or comments, feel free to post them, and I'll answer what I can. This hatch, it's causing quite the uproar on Hobie forums right now, because there were so many people that said it couldn't be done, and I know there's a lot of guys out there who have been chomping at the bit trying to find a way to do it. And I'm not saying that the way I did it is the only way to do it, but in my opinion, it turned out really slick. It turned out really nice, and I'm pretty proud of it. But if you guys want to see this hatch project in its entirety, you can see it on Hobie forums under the Pro Angler section, and you'll find it on there. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Any questions, like I said, let me know. Talk at you later.